A couple weeks ago, Star Wars Theory interviewed Sadia Khan, a licensed psychologist, and they discussed a whole host of topics. Over on his Theory Talks channel, I did a reaction to the clip and the full episode. Obviously, feel free to go and watch it. And in its totality, they cover a whole host of things. Found it to be quite entertaining, and of course, the clip that went viral was the one that, well, you could very obviously tell that Theory knew was going to go viral. It's the part where Sadia decides to respond to Theory's question about, at the time, it was a little bit more trending, the Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy, the feminist activist documentarian who for whatever reason, well, there's several reasons that Kathleen Kennedy would go ahead and appoint her for a Rey movie, was going to be directing the newest, at the time, Star Wars entry, the first and the triumphant return of the franchise back to the cinemas. Since then, that project has been buried so deep you would be forgiven to excuse the location of her resume with Tatooine. But yes, the clip from Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy that went viral, it's time for a woman to shape Star Wars, in contrast when Sadia comes out and just lays out that yes, men and women are gravitating towards franchises at a different rate and for different reasons, and Star Wars is a male-dominated brand. She'll, of course, mention it a little bit different, but it's funny. For the amount that the media ran with Charmaine's "it's time for a woman to shape Star Wars" and were finger-wagging at it, which is nothing that they did, they decided to take this. They decided to take this snippet from this clip completely and totally out of context, run it into the ground, and then decide to smear Star Wars Theory as a misogynist? Well, he didn't even say it. And at the same time, there's nothing wrong with the statement, so let's refresh everybody's memory here for a second.
So what they'll do is say, oh, we need more women in this particular sport. Nobody watches them. Nobody wants women in there, but they'll just say, stamp their authority so they can be a local hero. Then we need more women in Star Wars. No, we don't. No one. Women don't even watch Star Wars. They don't even care about it. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it. But they want to be like, oh, there's such a deprivation. We got to be.
See, as you can tell, he knew. I was like, oh, God, okay, I'm the biggest independent Star Wars channel online, okay? I'm within a arm's reach of the official Star Wars channel online when it comes to popularity and notoriety. Yeah, this is going to get clipped, and it's going to go everywhere. He knew it, even as honest and possibly correct as the assessment is by the psychologist. Yeah, nobody watches female sports, okay? And when I say that, 95% of the population doesn't watch female sports. They might watch it, and given the fact that the Summer Olympics are going to be going on this year, yeah, there's probably going to be a higher preponderance of people checking out female sports just because it's that time of the year. But in general, have you ever been to a WNBA game? No, okay? I've got first-hand experience with this type of stuff, okay? Up here in Canada, okay, we give a disproportionate amount of attention to hockey in general, ice hockey, that is, okay? I know that we're talking female sports, so I do need to differentiate between field hockey and ice hockey. They're both dominated by pussies, but the Canadian female ice hockey team is the most dominant force in all of female hockey, which is to say it would just end up getting beat by a local pickup team, which is exactly what I seen happen in person. I was working security at our local arena here, whatever its name is. It was the Crystal Center at the time. I'll just refer to it as that. Kind of like whatever the Blue Jays play at, it's the Sky Dome, and it's always going to be the Sky Dome. I don't care who buys the naming rights to it. But yeah, so the Canadian women's national team came through, and it's like, wow, this is a big thing. This is what I was thinking at the time. It's like, wow, they are far and away the best team. Everybody knows who they are, and they're just going to be playing, I think it was a collection of the firefighters and RCMP officers that are stationed here that are off duty, okay? They got their little pickup team and whatever, and they're going to play the women's team. Going to be an exhibition game. It's not going to be very physical. I don't even think that there were checks thrown at all whatsoever. But yeah, the fact that the ice hockey team, the women's national team, is going to be turning out up here in little old Grand Prairie, this is going to be a big thing because our called the AJHL, the Alberta Junior Hockey League, okay, the Grand Prairie Storm, it's one of the best attended junior hockey teams in all of Canada. No lie, you can go check this out. I thought, okay, cool, you have a higher level of competition, at least a higher level of notoriety. There's got to be some people that turn out. No word of a lie. No word of a lie. There were more people working security. There were more people. There were more staff at the facility than people in the stands. It was shocking to see. And then also, on top of that, the pickup team beat the women's team by like 3 goals. It was pathetic what I was seeing out there. It was one of the most snap back to reality moments I'd ever received in my life, because you are told by the media, you are told by the attention that they get on traditional broadcast television, that they are that team, okay? They are just as important as the 2002 Salt Lake City gold medal team that's out there. They also won gold that year. It's one of the most prominent sports team in all of the Great White North, and they couldn't even draw 100 fans to the arena. It was despicable. So yeah, nobody checks out except for the 100 people that were there. You have the 50,000 people that live in Grand Prairie. Not even 100 people giving away comped tickets could even turn out to this event. Nobody watches female sports, bro. That's what Sadia was putting across. She's 1000% correct when you understand that generalities is how the world works. But we're people. We're rational individuals. We're not the media. We're not NBC News that has nothing better to do than smear a YouTuber. What the fuck is going on? Female Star Wars fans strike back and claim that the franchise is only for men. You just heard that. You just heard that. Did she say it's only for, like, do you think, in all earnesty, that Star Wars is only for men? No, there are female Star Wars fans, just like there are female hockey players. But guess what? They represent a hyper minority. Comment made by a guest on a Star Wars Fans, a YouTube channel. He's a little bit more prominent than a fan, but okay, it's NBC. Once again, they're going to misrepresent the facts on multiple levels. Has given female fans an opportunity to remind the fandom that the films are for everyone. No, they aren't actually. Okay, I'm going to take a stand on this. Not even as somebody who really likes Star Wars all that much. Star Wars films are for Star Wars fans. Try to change something if you don't want to be a part of it, okay? That's why if I was ever to be hired to do anything Star Wars related, I would be accepting the role on the contingency that I became far more acquainted with the source material. What made the franchise as popular as it was? What made it the biggest cinematic franchise prior to the MCU, prior to the Disney acquisition? How did it become such a cultural phenomenon? That's what I would do as a rational individual that would want the best for a product, not somebody that fundamentally wants to change it from the outside in to make it their place, ruin it, and then wonder, where'd everybody else go? If you don't like what it is right now, you're just a racist, misogynist bigot. Female Star Wars fans have heard sexist comments before. What a way to start your article. This time the remark, women don't even watch the films. Oh, I love the way that you clipped that. Women don't even watch the films, came from a popular YouTube channel that called their fandom into question. It's not calling out individual people, because you listen to the rest of that clip and they realize that, yes, of course, there are women that watch. But no. They heard a clip. They're going with that. In the last week, the words became a rallying cry for some female fans of the franchise. Some female fans. What about the other ones that are like, yeah, no, basically, there are female Star Wars fans, but in general, it's a male brand. And guess what? When they were specifically catering to the men, it was a better brand, who have used it as a backdrop to respond to the kind of casual sexism they say is still common in the corner of the pop culture galaxy. Hilarious. You had 4 films, actually, if you include Rogue One, that have been centered around a female, and how's the franchise doing right now? And then even still, you decided to bitch up Han Solo and his origin film. How well did that one work out? Oh, right, Han Solo lost money. How many of the D+ streaming series and the ones that are supposed to come out this year have all centered around women? How much sexism is still going on in Star Wars? It seems like there's a lot. Just not the type that you guys want to report on. They don't even care about us. They don't even care about it. Psychologist Sadia Khan told YouTuber Nitus Dud. Is that Theory's real name? Okay. In a video that was posted on a Star Wars Theory channel. No, it wasn't. It was posted on his Theory Talks channel. Like, you dumb motherfuckers can't even get basic shit correct, which has 3.3 million subscribers. No, the Theory Talks channel has tens of thousands. It's still impressive, but it's not his main channel. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it. They want to be like, oh, there's such a deprivation. We've got to be on, or yeah, we've got to be in on it so they can be a mini hero. Yeah, breaking down the narcissism that is rampant in these quote unquote creatives that have co-opted and killed a bunch of franchises. Leaving that part out now, or there. Now, though, nearly 1,300 TikTok videos have used Khan's soundbite as a way to show their affinity for the films. In some videos, fans show themselves cosplaying with characters within the universe. Yeah, because cosplaying wasn't one of the initial red flags. It signaled the wrong type of self-absorbed narcissistic fans were trying to enter the community off the back of some lonely, greasy nerds who are devoted, who have the entire catalog of extended universe books. Not trying to weasel their way in there to try to get some easy attention off of that. No. They're serious fans because they dress up like a Twilix. They're big fans because they too bought a Slave Leia costume off the shelf. Meanwhile, they couldn't even tell you who wore that costume and in what chronologically that came from, but they're big fans. Khan's remarks have underscored an ongoing issue that has fatigued female fans and many male-dominated franchises for decades. Hilariously, in 2023, dubbed the Year of the Girl. Oh, really? Events like a Taylor Swift's Eras tour and Beyonce's Renaissance tour. Oh, you don't want to talk about the box office drop-off of that Beyonce one and the fact that Taylor Swift Eras tour ended up getting outgrossed by Sound of Freedom. Don't talk about that. No, of course not. Not an indie film. No one. Taylor Swift is right there and forthright. Oh my God. And the Barbie movie. Yes, the biggest film of 2023, 1000%. But what was number 2 and number 3? All right, the Super Mario video game movie. Oh, right. And Oppenheimer. How many women helped create the nuclear or the atomic bomb? Interesting. Empowered women to unabashedly embrace the things that they love. Yeah, exactly. The things that they love. How many men are trying to weasel their way in there and say that Taylor Swift music is for everyone, that we love Queen Bee and, well, actually, Greta Gerwig couldn't write her way out of a wet paper bag. So, yeah, a lot of people thought that it was actually the Ken movie because it was written so incompetently. So, you might have something there with that one. But this is NBC just completely and totally, muddle fucking their way around the concept. It couldn't be another. Oh, there is another hit piece that's out. The Rolling Stone. I'll leave it up to Rolling Stone. You remember? But that's all right. That's all right. Unlike NBC, it's not like Rolling Stone has ever done some terrible yellow journalism before. No. What was that about UVA? Anyways, his guest said women don't like Star Wars. He agreed. Did he even agree? Because he was just kind of like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get clipped into oblivion, but yeah, whatever. I understand that you're kind of laying out your post, okay? Like, you guys want to talk about misogyny and bigotry that's online, okay? You want to talk about somebody who's been absolutely whipped by how much out of context, terrible context clipping journalism that goes on a daily basis. Take a look at Theory, man. Like, the guy has been run through the ringer shit just like this for years. Popular streamer Star Wars Theory has brought back a familiar, if unwelcome, internet discourse. Nia D is a streamer behind Star Wars Theory, a channel dedicated to George Lucas' science fiction universe. So Rolling Stone immediately getting off on the wrong foot, even though Theory dedicates a lot of his study and a lot of his videos to the George Lucas side of things. Disney owns Lucasfilm. Disney owns Star Wars. Why didn't you say that? That's technically who the shepherd is, even for the original source material stuff. Anyways, he has 3.3 million subscribers on YouTube alone. Well, technically, if you lump together all of the channels that he has under his control, it's pushing closer to 5 million. But hey, we don't even need to get the right address correct. That's just the biggest one that he has right now. So we'll just poke at that one. Most of his content revolves around dissecting Star Wars internet theories. It's more or less him creating his own theories, but it's Rolling Stone. I don't expect you to get everything correct or anything correct. Debating casting choices and discussing new announcements and releases, and streaming with Mahler with a hilarious podcast every Monday. It also draws viewers by courting controversy. Mostly prior to him hooking up with Mahler, having those discussions, it wasn't really a controversy that he was courting. He was just kind of known as the guy who was crying when Skinwalker Luke Skywalker turned up at the end of Mandalorian 2. Like, he was kind of an internet meme and an unapologetic Star Wars fanboy. So not really controversy, but he did find a way to make that meme. You know, he owned the meme and has now since transcended that. Good on him. During a January episode of Theory Talks, his channel focused on critical theory. Oh, it's not. Critical theory is totally different than just the random talks that he has on the Theory Talk. These assholes, man. Like, I'm a passing observer of Star Wars theory and his material, okay? Like I said, I'm an unapologetic Mahler simp whenever it comes to him doing a podcast. I'll check it out, whatever he does. And of course, you know, he paths with theory. So yeah, of course, I'm going to take a, you know, bit of an interest about what's going on over there. So yeah, I don't even know all of the stuff here, but I at least know the correct places to reference if you're going to be doing a hit piece on him. Christ almighty. The hosted psychologist Sadia Khan neither of these articles mention the fact that she's a woman, which shouldn't really matter. Like, her statements will stand on their own, but for these virtue signaling assholes that just want to say that everything is racist, sexist, misogynist, and they're out there trying to point it out, they don't ever want to attribute these comments to the very female Sadia Khan, who derided Hollywood directors for centering female stories within male-dominated fandoms. No, female directors centering the stories that they tell on their own experiences. Assholes. And women don't even watch Star Wars. They don't even care about it. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it. Can't you just tell by just that out-of-context clip right there how flippant that statement was? Not just saying, 100% of the people that like Star Wars actually are men, and there's no real woman watches Star Wars. Like, who the fuck actually says dumb shit like that? This isn't the first time Star Wars fandom has dealt with disagreements surrounding racism and sexism in their own ranks. Back in 1977, a stormtrooper bonked his head off of a blast door, and that's why everything's goofy in Star Wars. Oh no, not that controversy. Following the premiere of the most recent Star Wars films, name them. Helmed by actress Daisy Ridley. Don't worry, she's coming back for another one. It'll be great. Thousands of fans accused Disney of going woke by having a female lead. There was nothing wrong with it at the time. And then she just eventually never developed a character, continued to get bounced around by hack to hack, and then back to the original hack, and then was afforded all of the powers and all of the character development that should have went to Luke Skywalker to begin with. But no, that had nothing to do with it at the time. You're just, post facto trying to apply the going woke moniker to this, because back when TFA released in 2015, going woke wasn't a thing. And then when shit did hit the fan in 2017 with the release of The Last Jedi, woke still wasn't a thing. And Daisy Ridley's lack of acting ability and gaped mouth, that was more or less at the center of this. Oh yes, and in 2017, Kelly Marie Tran. What's the name of her character, Rolling Stone? What's the name of her character? You're not going to mention it, okay? But because I guess I have more integrity than NBC and Rolling Stone, I at least know it's Rose Tico. Rose Tico became the first woman of color to have a leading role in a Star Wars film. Oh, fuck off. Leading is a bit of a stretch. In her 2018 New York Times op-ed, she wrote that she received sexist and racist harassment from fans and has never provided receipts for that. But, all of this stuff ends up getting spinned up yet again because A, it's a slow news month in January, and B, the media, whenever they can go against somebody that's a far more popular than them online, they're definitely going to take it. Guess what? Theory, once again, did nothing wrong. Sadia Khan was correct in her assessment. Rolling Stone and NBC are totally fucking hacks, and they deserve to get force choked over these shitty opinions. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.